Thank you, Venkat. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's such an honor to have SEBI Chairman with us on this momentous occasion of 30th Foundation Day of Association of Mutual Funds in India. We are also pleased to have Mr. Manoj Kumar with us, Mrs. Usha Thorat, and my colleagues from SEBI. The entire industry is here. The 30 years back, AMFI was formed with a vision to represent the Indian mutual fund industry, uphold the highest standards of ethics, and serve us as a bridge between regulators, market participants, and investors. 3 decades on, that vision has only strengthened, shaped by the belief that the true measure of our success is not in assets under management, but the trust of the millions of investors who place their faith in us. It's such an honor and privilege to have you with us, sir, on this momentous occasion when we are celebrating the wealth creation for millions of investors of India. Over the last 3 decades, AMFI has worked shoulder to shoulder with SEBI in co-creating regulation, in creating the best practices, industry best practices, and for several of them, we take pride. They are the best in the world relative to most of the other regulated entities in the world also. And our best practices are aligned with SEBI's objectives of investor protection, market regulation, and market development. So in a way, sir, we are an extension of SEBI, and our endeavor has been to focus on robust investor protection while creating an environment of innovation and efficiency with a larger goal of capital formation in India, creating a Viksit Bharat. I take this opportunity to express our deepest gratitude to each and everyone in SEBI. I see a lot of colleagues from SEBI today, but everybody over the last 30 years who's worked in SEBI and have supported our industry. Thank you so much for all your support over the last 30 years. We need to clap for everybody in SEBI over the last 30 years. We stand here, the industry has grown because of them. I also take this opportunity to express the gratitude to everyone associated with AMFI over the last 30 years. All the chairman, vice chairman, many of whom are present here. I spoke to Mr. Kurian due to old age and health. He could not make it. He was our chairman for several years, and all the other stalwarts who have guided us, all the board members, committee members, all our colleagues in the industry, past and present, for their hard work and the commitment over the last 30 years. Our industry has grown. We're talking about big numbers. I'll show you a video clip, but we should never, ever forget in the next 30 years or 60 years that we all are standing on the shoulders of the giants who worked passionately throughout 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s. Managing someone else's money is one of the most noble professions in the world. Managing someone else's money is one of the most noble professions in the world, and we are truly privileged to be part of being this industry for the last several years. Rising trust among investors, and Venkat talked about the SIP numbers, is also a testament of the work done by our partners, distributors, and the advisors across the country, in different parts of the country. And it was a privilege for AMFI to organize first ever partner recognition program last year, and we sincerely acknowledge all the efforts they have made. Today we'll be unveiling the Partners in Excellence 2.0. I must also acknowledge the critical role played by our friends in media, which earns so much of analytics, so much of data, so much of thought leadership pieces that you have a lot of fodder for research and analysis at your end. Thank you for keeping us on our toes, but at the same time, thank you so much for extending the message of mutual funds here to every corner of the country. We've been able to do many transformative projects thanks to the support of media, and today, as Venkat mentioned, we are announcing many more which are a lot more ambitious in nature. I must place on record my sincere thanks to all the other regulators, particularly Reserve Bank of India, NISM, all the other market intermediaries, all the market infrastructure institutions, RTAs, KRAs, exchanges, depositories, custodians, all our auditors, some of them present here, all our technology and other service providers. Thank you for all your help over the years. Our industry has touched a new high of 75 lakh crores in AUM. 5.5 crore unique investors, 25 crore folios for the first time, 28,464 crore SIP book is at a new high, and more importantly, 60% of the new SIPs are coming from B30 town. It is no longer money which is coming from larger towns and used to come from institutions. Now it's completely different. Participation from women, participation from younger investors have been on a rising trend. On Independence Day, Honorable Prime Minister reiterated vision of Viksit Bharat, vision of an inclusive Bharat, and vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thanks to the resilience of our investors and supported by all our partners, regulators, and everyone, today we can say that as far as capital markets are concerned, India is Atmanirbhar Bharat. India is an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Over the last 4.5 years, since 2021, mutual funds have invested $150 billion in India's equity market. Continuous SIP flows have helped India in reducing its vulnerability on global flows, and our primary markets have been showing the best, I would say, the best amount of, the highest amount of primary market raise anywhere in the world has been in India over the last 1 or 2 years. This nation is transforming from a nation of savers to a nation of investors, from a nation of savers to a nation of investors, and it's an honor and privilege for AMFI and all of us to be part of that transformation. Over the next several years, our contribution by channelizing the household savings and doing the capital formation, that will help in making India a Viksit Bharat. And on the other side, to ensure that this growth is inclusive, in line with, as I said, Prime Minister's vision that this growth must be inclusive, what we'll do is that take the message of SIP to each and every household in the country so that they participate in the growth story of that Viksit Bharat. Sir, I've heard you talking about the 3T: transparency, trust, and technology. Looking at the industry's growth over the last 30 years, I can add 2 more. One is the track record, and sincere compliments to our fund managers, to our risk managers over the last 30 years for building that track record, which is giving confidence to the investors. And the second I can add is training, which is nothing but the investor education, just to have that acronym. The first stance, as you mentioned, sir, in some other occasion, is the transparency, is the cornerstone of the mutual fund industry. We believe that it is not simply a regulatory requirement for us, it is a language of trust. As Adam Smith said, trust is the oxygen of capitalism. Trust is the oxygen of capitalism. Everything that we do at AMFI, everything that we do in our industry, we always keep the investors' interest at the heart of it. We are always guided by the principle of investor first. We were one of the, probably the only business chamber in the world where we set up an internal AMFI ethics committee with people like stalwarts like Mr. Mahalingam, Mrs. Shamala Gopinath, and Mr. Vishwanathan. Our commitment to ethical standards and transparency remains absolutely unwavering, and we'll continue to work on that. The another T is the technology, which has been a powerful enabler in this transformation. The digitalization of processes, I mean, from investor onboarding to compliance, from portfolio updates to grievance redressal, has brought greater convenience, more efficiency, and security. Today we are launching a completely new AMFI website that will offer a more intuitive, user-friendly interface, and we are embarking on building a world-class data warehouse at AMFI that will make industry data not only more accessible, but a lot more visually engaging for all kinds of stakeholders. We talked about educational institutions, media is present here, and many other people. The fourth T, which is very critical for us, and that has been one of the reasons for the success story of AMFI, is the training, and by training I mean investor education. Our investor awareness and protection programs have reached further and deeper than ever before. We have moved beyond conventional financial education to address practical concerns of today's investors, from simplifying KYC processes to raising vigilance against digital frauds, from helping new investors understand different asset classes to enabling seasoned investors make more informed decisions. Our campaigns have traveled where the people are. Our work at Kumbh Mela, our work at Jagannath Yatra has been highly appreciated. We are going to do a lot of things in the Durga Puja as well as in the Onam. The things that we are doing, kind of like Nivesh Yatra, which we embarked last year, buses crisscrossing that breadth of the country, spreading the message of mutual fund Sahi Hai. We are targeting younger children, and today we'll be felicitating the winners of the essay competition. And this is probably, I was telling Chairman, probably one of the largest essay competition in history of India, where more than 5 lakh students have participated. And it's a treat to read some of the essays that they have written for the importance of financial literacy for a Viksit Bharat. Sir, guided by you, we are taking the mutual fund Sahi Hai to the next level, and we are unveiling a series of new initiatives as part of Sahi Hai 2.0. Sahi Hai 2.0, moving from awareness to action. With a fresh dose of creativity, adopting a regional first approach, reaching out to real Bharat, and relying not only on advertisements, but doing many, many, many more on-ground activities. You talked about the tie-up with the educational institutions, the MOU with the postal department, and many other things. And this track record, transparency, technology, and training has led to the investor trust, which is reflecting in the rising numbers. So the government of India has been a big supporter to us on many occasions, and it's a deep pride for us, and I say this with a lot of humility. Both Prime Minister and Finance Minister have talked about many times that over the last 10 years, the industry was 10 lakh crores in 2014, when we touched a milestone of 30 lakh, 40 lakh, 50 lakh crore. On many occasions, they talked about it, they complimented the efforts of our industry. But at the same time, I remember in one of the event, Prime Minister said that, but हमें बहुत आगे जाना है, हमें बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों तक पहुँचना है, and this is what we are trying to do. And another vision of Prime Minister that India must lead Global South. India must lead Global South. And just like we talk about our digital public infrastructure, even in the developed countries, what India has done, we signed when President Prabowo of Indonesia was here on 26th of January. Some of us were there in Delhi. We signed an MOU with our counterpart in Indonesia. And I strongly believe over the next several decades, India has a lot to offer to the world in terms of what we are doing in capital markets in general and mutual fund industry in particular. Over the last 2 years, we have come out with a couple of thought leadership pieces. You have seen the one on women investors. You have seen the AMFI vision paper. Today we'll be unveiling a new vision paper for retirement security. And it's a reminder that retirement security must move from the periphery to the core of the financial priorities. And I strongly believe that mutual fund industry, with its transparent and well-regulated framework, offers a Sahi Hai choice for building a robust retirement corpus through systematic and long-term investing. After a couple of years of negative or muted flows, this is a year where we have seen some glimpse of hope again on the fixed income funds in debt and liquid fund investments. At AMFI, we drove a new investor education campaign, Fixed Income Sahi Hai, Fixed Income Sahi Hai. Sir, I know yesterday you were talking about it. You appreciate the importance of role of bond market and the newer instruments that are needed for retirement security, while strengthening India's capital market, and bonds and securitization markets are a critical piece of that. AMFI will be very happy to work shoulder to shoulder with SEBI on that. Finally, I would like to say, while we are celebrating a glorious milestone of 30 years at AMFI, we are celebrating contribution of everyone associated with us over the last 30 years. We are celebrating industry numbers that were absolutely unthinkable. Some of us who have been fund manager in 90s, the first 1,000 crore and 10,000 crore was like a big dream. We never thought that we'll be talking about lakhs of crores in our career. But we also know in our heart, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We have a long way to go. Our journey is far from over. The years, or rather decades ahead, present opportunities and responsibility in equal measure. Mahatma Gandhi has famously said, future depends on what we do today. Future depends on what we do today. If we continue to work with the noble mission that finance must be for the ultimate good of society. Finance must be for the ultimate good of society. If we continue to work with the noble mission of making India, seeing India in our lifetime as a Viksit Bharat, if we continue to work with the noble mission that we want every Indian to participate in that growth story, and I'm pretty sure that future is infinitely promising. I say this with confidence and humility that our industry stands ready to contribute to the Prime Minister's vision of a Viksit Bharat by 2047 by elevating transparency, by strengthening trust, by embracing technology and expanding financial inclusion, always keeping the investor at the heart of everything we do. So here is to the next 30 years of mutual fund Sahi Hai. Can we have the video of last 30 years journey?
Every great journey begins with a spark. For India, that spark was the belief that the collective savings of the people could light the path to prosperity. In 1963, the Unit Trust of India emerged, a bold new idea, turning small contributions into the fuel for national growth. Decades passed and the world began to shift. By the dawn of the 1990s, the winds of liberalization swept through the nation, opening doors once thought closed. Private sector mutual funds entered the scene, bringing with them competition, innovation and global best practices. With opportunity came complexity. The industry needed more than participants. It needed a voice, a conscience, a steady hand to guide its course. In 1995, that guiding force took form, the Association of Mutual Funds in India. As the industry matured, reforms shaped its journey. Removal of entry loads in 2009 to protect investors, a riskometer in 2015 to make risks clear, categorization and rationalism of schemes in 2017 to simplify choices. In 2017, AMFI launched a campaign that changed the national conversation, Mutual Funds Sahi Hai. One simple phrase that found its way into every language, every living room, every chai shop. But this was never just an advertising campaign. Then came the test of a generation, a pandemic that silenced streets and shook markets. But something remarkable happened. The discipline held. 22 lakh crore in March 2020 to over 75 lakh crore by July 2025. From 1 lakh crore in financial year 20 to almost 3 lakh crore by financial year 25. Unique investors almost tripled since 2020. The Bharat Nivesh Run brought people together in the spirit of financial fitness. Bharat Nivesh Young Minds Essay Competition inspired young minds to think about saving early. The Bharat Nivesh Yatra carried financial awareness to towns and villages. Every rupee invested doesn't just grow wealth. It powers factories, lights villages, builds schools, heals communities. Mutual funds are not just financial tools. They are engines of national progress. 30 years on, AMFI's mission is as ambitious as ever. Financial well-being for every Indian as we aim towards a Viksit Bharat. Guided by SEBI, AMFI will continue to protect, to educate, to innovate. From spark to scale, from vision to victory, 30 years of AMFI, building India's wealth and making billion dreams possible.
Thank you. In Silicon Valley, they say, if you put enough capital and enough engineering prowess, any problem can be solved, any challenge can be solved. They can send man to the Mars or whatever. I think in our industry has shown, and we remain committed to do that. If you put enough passion and a deep sense of purpose, any challenge can be resolved, and we remain determined for that. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. May I now invite respected Chairman Sevi to guide us, to give us your vision, sir. We are looking forward to your words in terms of what we have done right and what we need to do over the last several decades.
Here we have Mr. Navneet felicitating Mr. Tuhin on stage.